Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffery Combs.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jeffery Combs, President and Founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, first Tuesday of June. Good to be here with you. Aaron, you are first on Facebook Live this afternoon. We are virtually 6 weeks away from meeting in person one-on-one. Jared, good to see you this afternoon. Jared, this will be Millionaire Blueprint number 7 for you, and it'll be our 3rd year anniversary of meeting in person. Jared, good to see you. Good to see all of you here this afternoon. The content this afternoon will be gold. So Danielle Vaughn, good to see you this afternoon. Good to see all of you here. If you're in the Josh Waxman team in Josh Waxman's office in Florida, welcome aboard here. This is an awesome opportunity for me to collaborate with you. In 2016 today, in memories, Andia, good to see you. In 2016 in memories, so that would be 9 years ago, Josh had a post from me. He said he was at Lee's Hoagie House. Ask him what that all means. So Josh posted a Facebook post, and he goes, what I do in my off time. And on his off time, he was listening to the physical copy of Psychology of Asking. David Hammer, you might have that yourself, but he was listening to the physical CD set, The Psychology of Asking. He posted it 9 years ago today. So that means Josh was 20 years old 9 years ago today, and he wrote a post with me on today, June 3rd, year of our Lord, 2015. So good to be here with you today. So who is your coach? Now, this is a question that I use it as a post frequently, and what it means back in the old days, in 1992, an old school YouTube video was done by Bill Gould. Bill, G-O-U-L-D. Bill Gould was a superstar superstar network marketer in a company called NSA, National Safety Association. And in that era of network marketing, direct sales, water filters, the kind that you set on a counter and hooked up, and then the type of water filters that Kangen eventually built and now LifeWave is coming out with. So the ionized water filters. So Bill Gould was a 7-figure income earner. Then he owned a company called Equinox that ended up getting in trouble with the FTC down the road. And it was a huge company. They were doing a $1 billion company, but he used to do a video called Who's Your Coach? And so after seeing that video in 1992, I envisioned myself on camera doing video, and I'm doing it right now. Who is your coach? Now, he used a chessboard with the pieces, and he would ask questions in this video, who's your coach? So for those of you who are in the Josh Waxman Yuritsa team, or those of you who are in that team, you are coaches, and you are coaching your mentees. You're coaching your teammates. So a coach is someone who is also coachable, but not only coachable, a coach can coach themselves. So if you're not coaching yourself, but you're coaching others, and you're not coaching yourself, then you're a contradiction. Zarek, good to see you. Good to see all of you in the Josh Waxman team. Tomas, good to see you. And so I seem to remember a woman you coached who represented Kangen. Yes, many of them. So I coached many Kangen distributors. That is a top-tier water filtration machine. So good afternoon to all of you this afternoon, late afternoon on the East Coast. So the topic is, who is your coach? And then question number 1 right here on the syllabus that I hand write out. It also comes out on email right here. Who is your coach? So if you're on my email list, you get that. But then right here, it is, are you coachable? So that means, are you really coachable, or are you just giving yourself lip service? So Xavier, good to see you this afternoon. Are you coachable? I mean, you really want to ask this. Joshua, thank you for that. The GOAT, greatest of all time. Thank you very much. Humble gratitude to all of you who bestow me these compliments. So I have been a coach, a paid coach, for 27 years. I started coaching in September of 1998. This is my history. I started coaching one-on-one in 1998. For 10 years prior to that, I was a network marketing, direct sales professional. I had many ventures that I failed in. Yuritsa, good to see you. Thank you, Yuritsa. And my first company was Amway. And then the first company that I had any success in was the H company, Herbalife. And that's where I got to see the great Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was never a coach. Jim Rohn was a world-class inspirational speaker. He was in a whole nother league of his own. So he would be the Babe Ruth of coaches. He would be the Lou Gehrig of coaches. He would be the Yankee Clipper. He would be Joe DiMaggio. He would be the greatest of all time. His content still stands alone, and he was my idol. I got to see him speak a few times, and then I eventually shared the stage with him on 5 different occasions. But he never was a coach. I was one of the first coaches in the 90s that really broke through. There weren't that many coaches when I started. So I started my coaching services in September of 1998. I had my first paid speaking engagement in October of 1998 in Acapulco, Mexico. And oh my God, so Emmy Lou is on this Facebook Live. Emmy Lou was not at the event, but Emmy Lou Killinger was in that organization. My first speaking engagement, I shared the stage with Art Linkletter. David Hammer, I never told you this. So for those of you who don't know who Art Linkletter is, he was an iconic television pioneer. He was King Kong of television. He also invested with Walt Disney in Disneyland back in the day in the 40s before Disneyland was Disneyland. And Art Linkletter had this show, Kids Say the Darndest Things, on late afternoon television in the late 50s and 60s, and I shared the stage with him when he was 89 years old. That was my first year of coaching. So as a coach, I have coached over 10,000 clients. That's 4 zeros, a comma, and I've coached over 100,000 hours. 100,000, not 10,000 hours, 100,000. But you are your own coach. That's where you are right now. If you're watching this today, are you coachable? You ask yourself this: am I coachable? Do I show up? Am I a student? Am I in the process? Am I learning? Am I in learn mode? Am I coachable? But it's most important that you're able to coach yourself. And here's the number one question you ask yourself: did you make your bed? If you didn't make your bed, you sabotaged the first opportunity to have discipline. And if you don't make your bed, start making it. It's really important. Ashley, good to see you this afternoon. I've known Ashley for 10 years. Good to see you, Ashley. 2015, Ashley saw me speak at the Marina Del Rey Marriott in Los Angeles, California. Good to have you here with me, all of you, this afternoon. So are you coachable? And then if you're coachable, that means that you have a system, you have a method, you have a routine, you have a daily method you operate, you have a 90-day game plan, you have clearly defined short and long-term goals. And if you are able to be in that space, in that energy, then you are coachable. Now so I wrote this out for you. These are 3 of the brainwave states: alpha, delta, and beta. Now there's one missing, and that one is gamma. These are the most 3 common brainwave states that you will be in. Now the universe does not give you what you want right there. The universe gives you who you are. And everybody has this right here. It's an electromagnetic signature. So this means that as you walk through life, your emotional signature is it's like your script. You've written this out for you. So when you write this script for yourself, if you are in disappointed energy, if you live in disappointment, if you're in traumatic relationships that you're not able to unwind and be non-attached from, if you're in a lot of drama or trauma consistently, if you find ways to be disappointed frequently, now you're human, so you're going to experience all of these emotions. You're going to experience anxiety, fear, and doubt, perhaps daily. You're going to experience these emotions: anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride. You will experience those because your body's experienced 4 different levels of trauma: emotional trauma, physical trauma, generational trauma, and sexual trauma. Any 1, 2, 3, or combination of the 4 of them will have your body in a state of fight or flight. Your ability to coach yourself in this state of fight or flight will be the breakthrough factor. So as you feel a relapse, understand it's only a feeling. But if you let that feeling that feeling is a thought. But if you let it go from thought to form, now it's a thought form, and you've released it into the universe, and that becomes part of your electromagnetic signature. So your electromagnetic signature is the way you transmute your feelings. That's your transmutational energy. This breaks down to the science of attraction. As you have a better understanding of attraction, and you understand that thoughts are reality, and you have a better understanding of who and what you're seeking to attract, and you begin to devote the energy, you coach yourself. And the number one place that you coach yourself that you can break a behavior is the ability to interject and interrupt the feelings of fight or flight. Fight or flight is the autonomic reaction to stimulus. This is why you'll find yourself doing the same thing over and over and then asking yourself, how did I get here? Why does this happen to me? Well, it shouldn't be your responsibility to grasp what it means. And so this means, number one, let go of trying to make sense of situations. Let go of duality. Duality is right, wrong, good, bad, black, white, win, lose. That's the dichotomy. And in that dichotomy, enemies are created. Your objective in higher consciousness is to be in a state of non-attachment. Because in a non-attached state, then you stop complaining. In a non-attached state, you're not in a trauma bond. In a non-attached state, you do not feel rejected. In a non-attached state, you do not feel abandoned. In a non-attached state, you do not feel jealous. You do not feel envious. So if you're in an event and you're trying to be positive and you're trying to clap for someone who's walking across the stage while you're silently jealous and envious, then you're an addict. And the more that you understand that, and the more honest you become with yourself. It takes a man or woman of integrity to admit that they're addicted to disappointment. If you are a chronic complainer, if you find yourself overwhelmed frequently, if your mind wanders, if you can't sleep or rest at night, then there's a high probability that you're still addicted to a set of feelings that you recreate to fulfill the same set of feelings. Now, on the other side of that, as you begin to scale the map of consciousness, as you're able to transcend your feelings, when you are no longer in trauma, drama, and overwhelmed, when you are no longer worried about the outcome, when you begin to focus on the solution. I said this to him at least 6 times in a coaching call today. What is the solution? You're living in the problem. What is the solution? This is coachability. So if you're coachable, you'll live in the solution. If you're not coaching yourself, you'll stay in the problem. And then you'll require coaching from an outside influence because you can't let go of this analytical, egoic mind that continues to spin in a circle going counterclockwise. In your body, you have 7 chakras. 1, that's number 1. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6 is at the waistline, and 7 is at your tailbone. Those chakras are energy vortexes in your body connected to the other 7 vortexes in the universe. And as you begin to be in alignment, so in your energy vortexes of your body, the alignment of a chakra, you want it to spin clockwise. If you're in a contradiction, if you're a chronic complainer, if you're a procrastinator, an avoider, you don't make your bed, you live in a high state of rebellion, you don't brush your teeth, you don't do the dishes. Now these may be inconsequential, but if you can't do those, you are not coachable. I mean, you're a contradiction. If you can't make your bed, do your dishes, brush your teeth. I mean, this isn't just kindergarten, this is life. I wrote the best-selling book in 2010, which crossed into bestseller in 2011, called The Procrastination Cure. It was a minor bestseller. It was in every Barnes & Noble in America for at least 15 years. It was published in 4 different languages. I ended up on multiple TV shows and radio shows. I was interviewed by Mary Lou Henner, who was in the television program Taxi, and multiple other television programs across the United States on cable. But if you can't do these basic, simple fundamentals, then you're an addict. You are rebelling against being your best self. So once again, if you can't make your bed, you got to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I rebelling against? And if you justify it, well, I'm going to get in it later tonight, well, that's not being coachable. You're undisciplined. And see, it's the small situations, because if you can't create the small situations, you'll have challenges creating the bigger ones. That's Jim Rohn has a quote on that he covers. It's the simple discipline on the small task that if you can't do the small task, you will not be able to do the big task. So if you want to be this, a 7-figure income earner, if you want to harvest the gold, if you want to be a 7-figure earner in free enterprise, then you're going to have a lot of discipline. You'll have to have a method, a system, and a routine, and you'll have to be coachable. Because if not, the moving parts will consume you. You'll get chewed up, and you'll continue to attract narcissistic perpetrators to fulfill your low self-esteem and keep you in an overwhelmed state of conscious unconsciousness. And if you have anxiety about the future that hasn't happened, you'll continue to avoid being your best self. If you have challenges dating, mating, and attracting other people, if you have challenges attracting business partners who can produce results, well, that's all on you, Chief. I mean, you have to take a good look and be coachable. You have to look at why you do what you do. So that requires rigorous honesty. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is acceptance. This is the 5 keys to coaching yourself. Number 1 is rigorous honesty. Number 2 is acceptance. Number 3 is willingness. You're willing to create the simple, subtle changes required to cross the bridge so that you're no longer in doubt and you're in consciousness. In consciousness, the minute you access courage, you've now stepped up into your power. The courage to leave a relationship, the courage to leave a job, the courage to have clear boundaries with your narcissistic parents, the courage to be able to address this situation for what it is, the courage to leave a traumatic relationship, the courage to shut down one business to start another one, the courage to realize that you're a chronic complainer and that that's who you are and what you do. It takes a man or woman of courage to address their character defects. If you've been divorced 1, 2, 3, or 4 times, well, you're the common denominator. It requires the courage to look at yourself and understand how and why did I attract to my reality this situation. If you're not able to be in an intimate relationship, what is the solution? Ask yourself. This is your own coachability. The questions you ask yourself are the questions you can ask others. So to be an exceptional coach, a mentor, a leader, it's important that you coach yourself. If your habits, S-U-C-K, if your habits suck, well, how can you possibly expect to attract someone who has discipline to your business? If you're not disciplined, what is your electromagnetic signature that you are sending into the universe? If you can't let go of your own narcissistic personalities that you continue to attract, what is going to happen in your business and your life? You're going to attract the same situation to fulfill the neurochemical craving that keeps you emotionally addicted to the same set of circumstances. This isn't rocket science. This is neuroscience. And neuroscience is a byproduct of trauma that's unresolved. And if you had great parents, that is a blessing. If you had a parent that was a mentor to you, a coach to you, that is an absolute asset, because you may not have to go through what everyone else did, but that also means that you understand that other people had worse situations that you did, and you can still learn how to coach them. Everyone requires a coach, so it starts with you. Coach yourself. Start with making your bed. Start with the simplest disciplines you avoid. Take a white piece of paper. It's this simple. If you're coachable, you can do this. Take a Sharpie, a black or a blue Sharpie, a black ink pen. This is a cross pen. This is a Sharpie. My 2 favorites. This is standard white paper. Take it out, write on the top of it, my character defects. This is coaching. See if you're coachable. Write this down, my character defects. Write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. List your 7 character defects that hinder you the most in your business, your life, your ability to mate, date, and marry, and write them down. And be rigorously honest with them. Then on the side of them, so that's the problem, write on the side of it, above it, the solution. Write my 7 character defects, and over on the top of it, go down 1 through 7 again and write the solution. Coach yourself on what that solution is. And that will assist you to actually put it on paper so you can see it. That's rigorous honesty. And so if codependency is one of them, you're addicted to disappointment, you have rejection issues, you're a procrastinator. I mean, these are situations. You live in scarcity, poverty, consciousness, and lack. Put it on the paper. This is coaching 101. And if you can do that, if you can write it down, now you can see it. See, thinking it is one thing. That's the thought form. But when you put it in your hand, and you go from this, and you actually start writing, you have actually moved from your right brain, you're moving from your left brain, your analytical egoic mind, the prefrontal cortex that is challenged, the pineal gland that is calcified, the hippocampus that is enlarged as short-term, long-term memory, the prefrontal cortex right here. You have challenges deciding and discerning. One of them for many of you would be commitment phobia. If commitment phobia is one of your issues, put it on the paper. If you're codependent, put it on the paper. Put the seven most common characteristics that are character defects on this paper so you can see it, because now you can begin to coach yourself over a 30-day period. So if you're coachable, you do this one day at a time over a 30-day period. You monitor your progress so that you see that in your willingness, you're willing to create the simple, subtle changes required to cross that bridge of doubt to consciousness. It's a very short journey, and you can actually cross that bridge in one day. The key will be to do it the next day. The follow-up, the follow-through. Do you have those skills? Or are you inconsistent? If you're inconsistent in your production, put it on the 7 character defects. This is Coaching 101. Coaching 102 is, now that you've started to address your character defects, you can have a better understanding why other people live in theirs, so that you are not disappointed by your teammates. You're not disappointed by what other people do, what they do, and you're creating healthy boundaries, and you're able to separate your feelings from the events that shape them so that you're in higher consciousness. So I'm going to use this word for you again. It's called, I'll show you it right here. It's called an electromagnetic signature. That electromagnetic signature is the telepathic feelings that you are transmuting into the universe, either from unconsciousness or higher consciousness or lower consciousness, any one of the 3. In unconscious, that means these are repressed feelings. If you're conscious and you continue to find yourself sabotaging yourself, that means that those are suppressed feelings. If you're in high consciousness, that means that you're in love, joy, bliss, awareness, understanding, knowing, and in that state of higher consciousness, your electronic magnetic signature will attract your reality more frequently. Producers, people of influence and affluence, people who have branding, internet marketing skills, people who have a database, people who have sales and marketing skills, people who have a network, people who are more willing, people of higher consciousness. So that's the 20% of the population that you're seeking to attract. And then as you continue to improve your ability to coach yourself, and the most important situation that you coach yourself on is your ability to neutralize fight or flight. Fight or flight is the reaction from the body automatically, autonomically to the stimulus that's in front of you. So when the brain sees a lion and a tiger, it's going to procrastinate if you're not comfortable with yourself. If you're comfortable with yourself, the lion and the tiger is actually a kitten. And so that you're not making situations bigger than they are. If you find yourself in anxiety about the future and your mouth moves and it says worried all the time, and if you're worried about what other people think about you, and that becomes a reason not to create the phone calls or to reach out to people or write the content, then you're an emotional addict. As you have a better understanding of why you do what you do, you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. You're in the separation stage. So the separation stage means you're no longer in right and wrong, good or bad. You no longer ask me if it makes sense. I promise you this as your coach. If you ask me if it makes sense, I'm going to tell you I understand. I never, ever respond to someone asking me, does it make sense? Because if I do, then now I'm in their energy, which is an analytical egoic mind. By understanding, I'm in the separation. This is coaching 103. So when you're coaching someone, it's your objective not to get seduced by their story, number one. You don't get seduced by their trauma, drama, and everything else is going on. You're not trying to fix them. When you're a coach, You're living the solution. You're providing results. You're a skilled listener. You're hearing what's meant along with what's said. You're giving input, feedback, and direction. You're not trying to control the outcome. You're in a neutral state of non-attachment, giving people sage wisdom, good advice, and insight based on your own experiences of recovery, sobriety, consciousness, business skills, and other situations that you've learned by reading. And this is why I am a great coach, because I have the repetition experience I have as a coach is completely off the charts. I have coached over 100,000 hours, means that I have heard it all at least 100 times. I have heard every molestation, sexual abuse. I have heard the cults that people have lived in. I have listened to stories of the darkest, deepest secrets that people have held on to that keeps them silently suffering. I have myself been through many challenges of rock bottom. I've been $1.5 million in real estate debt, $100,000 in credit card debt. I have failed in businesses on 5 different occasions. So my experiences that I can convey to people is this: gold. And so it's that repetition and experience that allows me to be able to assist people to understand how to create that transition. So these are the 5 keys to coaching yourself. Number 1, be honest with yourself. Number 2, accept where you are without being critical of where you are and who you are. Number 3, be willing to create the simple, subtle changes regardless of how hard, how difficult, how challenging your ego wants to tell you. Take that breath, breathe, release it, and let it go, and then step into gratitude. Be grateful that you have the courage to be your best self one day at a time. And then number 5, forgiveness. Forgive yourself for what you've put yourself through. Forgive yourself for how much time you procrastinated and avoided. Forgive yourself for the addictions that you've used to manifest into being your lowest self. Forgive the people that have traumatized you. Find that state of neutrality called non-attachment, and be your best one day at a time in a relaxed body. My name is Jeffery Combs. I'm the president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars, bringing you the gold. So I look forward to meeting and spending quality time. Those of you who come to Millionaire Blueprint, I promise you that it will be my finest hour. I have hosted over 200 intimate events in my career. And I've spoken over 1,000 times around the world in 4 continents, 47 states. But this year at Millionaire Blueprint in July, I will be in my finest hour with you, and you will also experience it through Josh Waxman, Yuritsa Waxman, Lynn Ann Morey, and a host of other exceptional people who will be there, and you will be one of the coaches coaching everyone in that room. Breathe, release, and let go. Rosalinda, good to see you. Alexis, good to see you. Thank you for coming on board here today. Danielle, thank you. Thank all of you on a Breathe, Release, and Let Go day. Be grateful that you have coaches that you can depend on, and also be grateful that you yourself are a coach. You are coaching others. I mean, you are gold. You have the gold within you. And if you're just getting started coaching, I commend you for the courage to coach yourself today, to go to bed in a relaxed body. Have a good afternoon, everyone.